Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Colleen and I appreciate all of you that have been watching my videos now for 3 or 4 years, and for all the new people who don't know anything about me but have come across my channel for the first time, welcome. I'm really happy that you're here. Today I'm going to work on a Depression era or Depression style dinner, and these are the kinds of dinners that people put together during the Depression when they didn't have a lot of ingredients to work with or a lot of supplies. They just were limited in what they could get their hands on. So part of this meal is something that our family had long after the Depression was over because it became a comfort food, and I hope it will be for you too. So today I'm going to make hamburger gravy over mashed potatoes, and I'm going to make you a poor man's salad or a cracker salad. And I hope that you will come along as we go through the process of this today. Now, the first thing I did, the very first step that I did was I put 3 eggs into a pot to boil because I want to get them ready for the cracker salad or the poor man's salad. And then we're going to start on the potatoes, get them boiling, and then we'll work on the hamburger gravy. I'm just making enough potatoes today for 2. And these are, what are they? These are russets, and we're at that time in the year in the summertime when buying russets gets to be a gamble because they have wintered and they are getting to a point where they're having some bad spots on them. So I find myself cutting quite a bit of the potato away. Some of that is just because I'm trying to speed it along as well, but I don't need an awful lot in here to make enough for 2 of us. Especially not when we're having a salad on the side as well. I hope that this video finds you all well. We are here in Golden, BC, still on fire watch. There is a fire burning about 12 miles from us, and it has changed direction several times, and the winds keep coming up and driving it north towards us. But so far the fire crews have managed to hold it back there. We've had a little drizzle of rain today, which will help to cool it off, and that is exciting for us. It wasn't just like 3 or 4 days ago that we were packing bags and getting ready to evacuate. Now our bags are still packed. They're still by the front door because we may have to go at a moment's notice, but for the time being we are safe, and I feel a little more comfortable that they're getting a handle on this fire. So I hope wherever you are that is not the case, that you're not suffering through that, because it definitely adds a lot of stress when you're afraid to go to sleep at night because you may be evacuated in the middle of the night. Okay, I'm looking in the pot and I'm looking here, and my guess is that this will probably do it. I can tell from this potato and the way it's feeling that it'll be the last one in the pot cooked. There's something about russet potatoes, and the softer ones seem to cook a lot easier than these ones that are really dense and hard to cut through. Okay, and maybe one more. Anyway, so this is the start of this. I am truly, I I know that it annoys some people that I do things in real time, but I'm trying to be authentic here and show you that you can do this. You can have this meal ready in 30 minutes, and it just goes by quick. It certainly probably didn't meet the food guidelines of the day, because it didn't have enough vegetables in it and so forth, but it definitely filled tummies, and that was important too. Now I've rinsed the potatoes, and I have put some salt in the water, and I've put them on the stove to boil. And they'll probably take around 20 minutes from the time you put them on, because they have to come to a boil, and that takes at least 5 minutes, sometimes 10. And if you cut your potatoes smaller, they will cook faster. So if you're leaving them a more chunky size like I did, then it might take a little longer. Now we're going to get busy and get the hamburger frying and an onion cut to go into the hamburger. I know this hamburger frying is going to be loud. It always is, but it's part of cooking that you can't take away. Now I've turned up the temperature on the frying pan, and I'm just going to open this up. And in there it goes. This package of hamburger, for your information, is 450 kilograms, so about 1 pound. And today I paid $7.63 for that 1 pound of hamburger. I know. I see some older videos on YouTube where the cooks or the content creators are showing you meals where you can eat for a week on $10. But you certainly can't do that anymore, and if they try to tell you that you can, I think that would be an absurd plan, because there's just no way. And a dozen eggs is $7, and hamburger, which happens to be right up there with the cheapest of the meats, is $7.50 a pound. There is no way that you could feed two or even one person for $1 a day. Or at least not where I live in Canada. Now I'm going to get at this onion. Let's see if we can't get this chopped up. This is the last of the package of onions that I bought a while ago, and they're starting to get a little soft. It's not bad, and I don't see any bad spots on them, but they are starting to get a little on the soft side, so good time to use them up. My husband didn't realize I had gone to the grocery store and bought onions already, so he bought another pack. So we've worked our way through that, and now we're on to this one. We do use a lot of onions, though, so they won't have a chance to go through that. Now we're both of us, my husband Gino and I both raised on farms, and this is definitely a meal that either of our moms would have fixed for us, and one that we fixed for ourselves. It is truly a comfort food from where we live. I know that we're not the only families that ever had this simple hamburger gravy with mashed potatoes. Now, I can see that that's a lot of onions, but I'm going to leave them in there anyway. I'm going to give this a stir. And then I'm going to pour the onions in here and get them cooking at the same time. Now I could have added a little oil to this, which would make it a little quieter, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to turn them down a little bit. I don't want to add oil to it because then I just have to take it out in the end anyway. And there's enough oil in this hamburger. If it goes a little lower and a little slower, that will help the onions to sweat out as well. Now I'm going to turn it, I'm going to put this behind me so it might be easier for you to hear what I'm doing with the salad. It's frying behind me. At least that's what I'm hoping for. There. Now, while I've got the potatoes and the eggs on, and the eggs have just about been long enough that I can take them out. I'm going to give them a couple more minutes. I'm going to go to work on this poor man's salad. Now, this is sort of the poor man's version of the panzanella, I think. The ingredients are quite simple, and so we're going to need some mayonnaise, a couple of medium-sized tomatoes, some green onions, or spring onions, some salt and pepper, and a bag of crackers, just one sleeve. And we're going to get these, we're going to break them up. We don't want them to be completely fine because we still want some texture in there. But let's see. Break them up. And that's going to go into the bowl. This salad doesn't take any time, and you'll be quite surprised by how good it really is. I'm going to get a little different knife for cutting these onions, I think. Let's see if this one will do the trick. I don't really need the white part. If it looks like I don't have enough greens, I will use the white part. You could also chop up the white parts and add them to the mashed potatoes too if you wanted to do that. Oh, potatoes are boiling over. I decided as long as I was there that I would take the eggs off. I have 3 eggs in this pot. I'm going to run some cold water on them to shock them. And I'm just going to tidy up these green onions. And I'm going to cut them off. Cut off the bad parts. Then I'm just going to give them a quick rinse. You might have to remind me I've got water running back there. I'll let it run over the eggs for a bit. Okay. Now, I am going to chop this entire bunch of onions. Now, these onions would have been simply grown in the gardens by the house. During the Depression times, they would have had gardens. Everybody that could certainly would have. If you lived in the dense population of a city, you may not have had a garden, but most people did have. Shutting off the water, and I'm just going to stir this meat. Now, we've got these all chopped. I'm going to dump them right in there with the crackers. I'm going to get these tomatoes ready. Well, if I can get the sticker off. There we go. Going to give them a rinse. Now, be kind of chunky. It depends on how big a bite you want to take, I guess, would be the simplest way to describe that. Most people want to be able to get a bite onto their fork. So keep that in mind as you're chopping these up, that you want them to be able to fit everything into your mouth so that you get a good bite of it all. And these tomatoes are perfectly ripe, which is a huge bonus. Now, if you're not going to eat this salad right away, then I would hold back the crackers from the bowl until you were ready to use it, because this really needs to be eaten right away. Otherwise, the crackers get soggy, and then it's no longer a good dish. I'm going to scoop the tomatoes in, but I'm going to try not to get too much of the juice, although I did. I'm going to get this cleaned off of here. I'm not taking that with me. You can definitely take these tomatoes, cut them all, and put them in a bowl that you've lined with paper towel that will catch the extra tomato juice, because they are perfectly ripe and very juicy. Now, some of those got away on me. I need to double check them. Okay. Back in there. I don't know if you've ever heard of such a thing. I can hear that pan getting quiet, which means that the meat is probably cooked. And I am just let it brown. I'm going to finish this off and then we'll turn back to that. I'll do it quickly. There we go. Now I'm going to bring it back. And so this cord all around where it needs to go. Okay, so I hope you can see that. You can see the brown bits in there. Now, at this point, I'm going to use about maybe 3 cups of beef stock in this. So, should be able to set it with, a few tablespoons. Let's try it with 3 tablespoons of flour. Try to set it up with a thick gravy. I'm also going to salt it. And it's okay to be a little heavy on it because there are no other special flavorings going into this. Although now that you've seen how it's made, you could definitely add other things. I'm being a purist here, but you could add garlic to it, you could add celery and the mirepoix, you could add carrots, and you could add all kinds of spices to it and make it, kind of over the top. So I have stirred it until there's no sign of the flour left, and if you can see, there's absolutely no grease in the bowl because that's all been sucked up by the flour. So now I'm going to grab this container of beef stock. You could just use plain old water. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. I also saw my mother use milk from time to time. So I guess it's whatever you have the most of around your house. I have also added Worcestershire sauce to this. We're just trying to make enough gravy on the meat that you've got enough to get over your mashed potatoes. So you want everything in the pan pretty much to be covered. And there we go. Let's do that. I'm just going to stir it until it comes back to a boil because I don't want that flour to burn. Now, there we think we need that anymore. So I'm going to try and multitask. And I'm going, why did I not bring a bowl for the compost? Yeah, it's a simple meal. Very, very simple. It's already, you can see from browning the meat, we're getting a nice brown gravy. I'm going to grab a spoon so that I can taste it and make sure it's seasoned properly. I'm going to grab a bowl to put the stuff in it for the compost. Get that out of the way. Let's just keep on stirring this. Last but not least, I'm going to add some butter to this. It looks like I could have used a little more. Got a hair flying around here. It looks like I could have added a little bit more flour to this. So we'll let it bubble away for a bit. I'm going to add about, I don't know, maybe 3 tablespoons of butter. And you're just adding that for flavor because, again, the dish doesn't have very many components to it or many ingredients in it, so this is a good way to add some flavor to the dish. Also gives it a beautiful silky finish. Okay. Now, I'm just going to taste it for seasoning. I feel like if you have to really think about whether it needs more salt, it probably doesn't. It's probably just about perfect. And I think that's good. One of those dishes that brings back memories. Now I'm going to set this back over here again. And we're going to let it bubble away. And stir it once in a while. Because we're going to allow it to thicken a little. Now, just going to wipe this area up in front of me. Grab a spoon and some mayonnaise. Now I'm going to salt and pepper before I add any mayonnaise to it. I'm going to be heavy with the pepper because I like a lot of pepper on tomatoes. And I'm not going to add so much salt because there's a lot of salt already in the crackers, unless you bought unsalted crackers. So we're going to need about, I'm going to say 3/4 of a cup. But if that's not enough, just add a little more. You definitely can't take it out, but you can add it, so keep that in mind. And just stir it really good. Now, this needs a really, really good stir because you want to have the mayonnaise evenly coating everything in the bowl. And you don't want any dry bits. You want them all to be in good shape. Whoops, flinging things around. Good thing I washed that counter. Now, last but not least, I'm just going to do up those eggs, and then the salad is finished. Grab these eggs. Hopefully these eggs are going to peel nicely. I don't know, the last little while it seems like we've had a real struggle with the eggs. We don't have chickens, so we're relying on the stores to bring us eggs, and if you go by the old wives' tales that it's hard to peel fresh egg, then we've had a lot of fresh eggs lately. Now, these ones are feeling quite well so far. Probably cooked too soon. Make sure you have all the shell off because there's nothing, and the membrane, because there's nothing that'll turn you off quicker than biting into an eggshell. And I did stir that all in because I don't want to do a heavy stir once I put the eggs in because it'll break them up really, really fine. I'll stir this. Oh, and it's coming down quite nice. I think it's going to be perfect. Now, I'm going to come back with this knife, and I'm just going to chop this egg. I'm going to quarter it. See a piece of shell there. And then I'm just going to chop it up. Be careful here. You don't want to cut yourself. And this just adds some protein to the dish that it might otherwise be lacking. If you don't have eggs, don't worry about it. If you have a little bit of ham or a little bit of leftover bacon crumbles or some chicken, whatever you might have, you can add to this, but you don't have to add anything to it. Now, here's what it looks like. We have our cracker salad, or poor man's salad as we call it. And we're going to check on those potatoes now. 3/4 of a cup was definitely enough. And we'll see how those potatoes are doing. If they're cooked, the meat, the gravy is just about done. That is almost perfect. Now the potatoes are done. There's that one in there that seems to be a little firmer than the rest, but it's still mashing. So we are good to go. And I'm going to add some butter to this, just layering in the flavor. If you didn't have butter, that would be no big worry. And I'm going to add another wooden spoon and mix these. And I might add a little milk to these just to make them a little smoother. You don't need an awful lot though, because you're going to cover them with gravy. Yeah, maybe just a little. I have a little half and half here. I'll just tip in a couple tablespoons. Probably about 3 tablespoons. Now, see? You still want them to hold their shape and not be all smooth. Whoops. Boy, I'm making a mess today. I'm going to shut the meat off and grab a dish, and we're going to dish this up. Okay. So I'm going to put a dollop, no, bigger than a dollop. I'm going to put a scoop of potatoes on my plate. And I'm going to sort of make a little well in the center. I'll move the pot so you can see what I'm doing. Just make a little well, a place to catch the gravy. I'll just grab a soup spoon because it'll be easier. And I'm just going to scoop up a scoop of this. And I'm going to add it to the well. I'm going to make sure that I have lots of gravy with that. Move that out of the way. I'm going to grab a fork while I'm over here. And a scoop of our poor man's salad. And there we go. There you have it, folks. Here is a Depression style dinner. It's inexpensive, it's tasty, and will bring back memories for many of you, I'm sure. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video, and that if you have, you'll consider subscribing if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends. Give it a like, and I appreciate your comments. Thanks so much for being here with me today, and I will see you again on the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.